Hey, greetings, class. Josh Hart here. I am your primitive skills professor, and I've been doing that now for I think about 15 years, which is pretty amazing. And I always kick this class off by saying, "Welcome to the best class at Castleton." And although I say that facetiously, and I want you to know that that is actually what I'm striving to do. I know that this class has had major impacts on people for 15 years now. That has really enhanced their life, and in some cases allowed for clear paths to lifestyles and careers. I do want to let you know, attached in your first kind of Google suite within this class is a syllabus that is pre-C19. And in reality, we are going to follow that syllabus the best we can virtually. This past spring was probably one of the most difficult times in my professional career. I absolutely love what I do, and you will learn that I do it from the heart, and I do it because it aligns with both my lifestyle and my passions. In reality, this class is not designed to be taught online, and there's no doubt that this is an experiential class where experiential learning and experiential education are the driving force. And we've kind of had the wind taken out from underneath my sails in regard to losing that element of the power of this course. But you know, if there is a silver lining, it's that I did learn some skills that I do plan on using in the future. I am not a Luddite. Heck, I even utilize social media from time to time. But I certainly find more value in simplicity and more down-to-earth methods of both instruction and ethos and lifestyle in general. And I've really enjoyed the opportunity to kind of shuck the constraints of technology from my classes. But here I am, alas, teaching primitive skills online. So obviously I have to put forth a bit of a amendum to that syllabus. Perhaps I should have just rewritten the syllabus altogether, but I think I could best just explain it in this video. I think that the first thing that we have to really wrap our head around is experiential education and what that is. So experiential education is, again, the driving force behind all of my work as an educator, and it refers to a style of learning that requires doing. We used to use the word hands-on, but hands-on, kind of has negative connotations to it at this point. But the subject matter is not only presented in kind of a traditional lecture format, but it's also then implemented by way of you doing the work. So contrary to kind of having a black and white start and finish, there isn't a start and finish. In other words, if you were assigned a chapter in a book and then had review questions, and after a few lecture series, review sessions, and review questions, you were then able to take an assessment in the form of an exam. That is not what I do. It's never what I've done. And although it may have a place in some elements of traditional education, it really doesn't have a place in my world. So experiential education requires a sense of trust and passion for the information. And once you get that, the idea is that you personally synthesize the information on your own and in your life. And then you find a way in which to challenge yourself and then report out on your own learning by way of something palpable, something that you did that I can see or you can see, touch, or feel. and therefore your education has a direct correspondence to your ability to do something in real world application in an authentic manner. And it's simple enough to kind of talk about it. I mean, it can be a little bit lofty, but it is very difficult for a lot of students to be able to kind of reprogram their mind to be able to absorb this style of information, because it can be frustrating. It's kind of like, hey, professor, I want a rubric. I want to know what I need to do to get an A. Let me fill in the coloring book and tell me how to do it. And that's not what I do at all. So again, this class is experiential by nature, and you are going to have to find places to do the things that I am going to ask you to do, and then find a way to report out on that. And I've got some ideas as to what that's going to look like. Again, I'm going to follow the basic contents of that syllabus, but we will be doing it, I guess, slightly different. I would far prefer to be doing this in person, but we're going to make the best out of it. So the next piece that I really want to stress is personalized learning, which is something else I am very passionate about. Unfortunately, it seems that a lot of modern education here in the Western world is influenced by this idea of, when I complete whatever course of study I'm at, then I'm going to be awarded a lot of these luxuries or a clear path in life. And I'm here to tell you that that's actually not true. That's a lie. I'm not sure if it was ever true, but I certainly didn't experience it. And the reality is you're spending real money to take this course right now, and it is my job to give you a damn good experience in doing so. And that's what I'm committed to do. However, that means that you have to reciprocate that with some amount of personal investment beyond just the class being a check mark or a badge to be collected on your way to greener pastures, i.e. your diploma. But rather, this is something that you are intrinsically motivated to excel at, something that you are comfortable challenging yourself with, something that you will invest in mindfully and be present, not just kind of go through the motions to do the bare minimum in order to receive the best grade possible. And I know that's what we do. I mean, I'm guilty of that too in my own life. However, the power of this course would be sorely limited if that was the attitude in which you kind of adopted at the onset of the course. So, you have to motivate yourself beyond just doing what you think your parents are telling you to do or your advisors are telling you to do. You've got to motivate yourself beyond getting a good grade. This is about you, and this is me providing a service to you so that you can take this information and then utilize it in your own life in a powerful way. I don't want you to forget this stuff. I don't want you to just become a bunch of mini-me's either. I don't want you to just regurgitate. I already know what I know. I want to see you take this information and then put it into an equation that includes yourself. And that indeed, I think, will lead you to be a happier person and a more adept person. Ultimately, I think it will lead you to being a free person. And I think freedom is probably the apex of the human experience and something that we're sorely lacking in society today. So we'll just kind of recap that again. This class, it's going to have to be flexible. I'll be flexible with you. Please be flexible with me. I'm not great with technology, but I will work my butt off to do the best that I possibly can. The class isn't designed to be taught online, although I am dedicated to making that the best experience that it possibly can be right now. This class is experiential in nature, so don't expect a lot of, reading, review questions, copy paste, black and white, fit and form style of education. That's not what's happening. There's not really a clear end or a clear beginning. Questions are oftentimes open-ended. It's personalized learning, which means you can take this in whatever direction you really want. The key being that you're here for you and that you want to be here and you want to have a valuable experience. Contrary to the idea of I'll put in the least amount I possibly can just to get the good grade so I can move on to the next stage. That would be a real shame. These are shackles that are hard to break. So to get to more details, and the devil is in the details, and I am not a very detail-oriented person all the time, but this is kind of what my expectations are. Our class is, I believe, it is Tuesdays at 5 to 7 p.m. Now keep in mind, on my schedule, it says this is an online class, which obviously it is, and there's no time associated with that. And I can't really remember what the time was previous to this. So right now we're functioning at Tuesdays, 5 to 7 p.m. If this doesn't work and it's overlapping with another class you're taking, you got to let me know now, and we'll find a different time for the entire class. Because I envision much of the class to be asynchronous, meaning that you're kind of reviewing and experiencing what I'm offering on your own time, but I also absolutely plan on doing some synchronous learning time where we actually get together online to be able to see each other face to face and ask questions and actually perhaps even do some activities together. I've never done this before, and it's going to take some trial and error for sure. So bear with me, but we really want to stick to that. So what am I looking for? Every single class will have some kind of prompt or question associated with the information that's proposed, and you will then reply on the computer so that I know that you are engaged in the class, and then from there we'll take that to another level when we meet synchronously. So with that, we are working up toward a solo experience. So the solo experience is when you actually take to the woods within a limited amount of equipment and actually spend the night. You'll see that experience from Hunter Nolan's video that he did under the tutelage of my father. And that's kind of our chief objective. I'll also have you be putting together a nature journal, something I'll talk about more in the future, or a photo documentary of your experience. This is going to serve as kind of a portfolio of your experience within the class. There is some gear that I'm going to be asking you to find. Not a lot. This gear is this class is about utilizing the least amount of gear. But normally I have equipment that you can use and borrow, and I don't have that. I also normally get a small lab fee, which allows me to give you equipment permanently to use, but I don't have that liberty either, which means that burden's going to fall on your shoulders. So what that means, you're going to have to find some matches. You're going to have to find a knife of some sort, maybe an axe or a hatchet. Again, I'm not into you spending a whole lot of money. A compass is something you're going to need to find. And I obviously will give you this list for you in the future to be able to recall from. And I can be really specific with that list if you like. So kind of recap, Tuesdays 5 to 7. You really, on asynchronous times, you can do that really whenever, as long as whatever the assignment is that I ask for comes back to me the following Tuesday, you're A-okay. We're working toward this solo. To get there, you're going to go through a series of experiences with me, some synchronous, some asynchronous. You'll probably have some things in the style of podcasts and interviews, actual live demonstrations, things like that. And you will then be asked to implement those on your own and then record them either through writing or artwork or actual photos, and then you'll be giving them back to me, all again working toward that solo. So I'll kind of leave you with this. I'm 40 years old. and I have a family, and I have a great life, and I'm a pretty happy fella for the most part. The content of this class has been a driving force for me throughout my life and has served me very, very well. But it requires deep investment and humility. It requires hard work, and it requires patience. The idea of you spending the money to take this class and getting very little out of it pains me greatly, because we are kind of told that you go through college and you're going to get a great job and things are going to be gravy from there on out. And maybe for some people that's the case, but for most people that's not the case. I'm not undermining a college education in any way, shape, or form. Obviously, I believe in that, and I'm pretty degreed up at this point in my life as well. But I will say that the real salt of life comes from your experiences and your ability to get the most. Suck, as Henry David Thoreau said, suck the marrow out of life, live deliberately. And that's what I'm asking you to do. I want you to live deliberately within this class. Ask questions. Think about it when you're not in class. Come to class prepared. Challenge me. Challenge yourself. Get obsessed with the information within the class and allow that to carry you to new horizons. I am 40 years old. I'm a college professor, a high school teacher. You're going to learn a lot more about me. But, once in a while, my phone still rings and it says, hey, you missed a payment for your college loan. So I'm still paying off those college loans many, many years later. I wish I wasn't. And I have strong feelings about that. But I want to say that is a real thing. So be wise with what you're doing. This is an investment that you are making. But in order for you to get the best return from that investment, you have to put everything you have into that. You get what you put in. And there's absolutely no other way to express that. You could certainly take this class, get a fine grade, and learn nothing in it. But in the end, the only real judge of your experience or your ability in the class is yourself. And you know that. I can tell for the most part, when someone's mindful or invested. But to a large degree at this level in your education, I think that the biggest critic should be you, not me. I'm not even comfortable grading you. This class is so personal in nature. Sometimes I feel like, who am I to be the arbitrator of how well you did in the class? If this was a perfect world, you would be the arbitrator of that, because you would have the initial investment, enthusiasm, passion, and desire to get the most out of it. And that's what I'm begging you to do. So normally, first day of class, it's just, here is the syllabus, here are the expectations. It's not a very long class, and that's going to be the case today. Really just want to get you online, and so that we have a dialogue. Yep, it stinks in comparison to what I wish we were doing, but it is where we're at, and we're going to make the best of it. I ask you to go through everything within this first rollout of the class, and then I'm just going to ask you to introduce yourself and ask me 2 questions about the class. So without further ado, please go through the rest of the links here and enjoy yourself. Learning really should be fun, and I like to think of myself as a pretty fun professor. With that being said, the content within this class is very personal, very close to my heart, and I think it's needed more now than any other time in modern history. So be well, folks. Stay in contact with me. I am your resource. Whatever I can do for you. I wish we were in person, but maybe when this blows over, we'll be able to do something in person regardless. So, okay, everybody. Thank you very much.